You've probably seen this number floating around in the headlines, a figure so ridiculously big it's hard to even wrap your head around. But today, we're not just going to stare at it. We're going to break it down and actually understand it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, $265 billion. Just let that sit for a second. As of early November 2025, that's the estimated net worth of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. It's an absolutely staggering figure for sure, but the real story here isn't just the number itself. It's how a number like this even works in the first place.
So that's the big question, right? How in the world do you even calculate a number that big? I mean, it's not like it's all cash sitting in some gigantic bank account. The reality is, well, it's a lot more dynamic and interesting than that. It's all about tracking assets in real time.
All right, so let's start with the basics. Where does this specific number even come from? It's not just some random guess. Nope. It's the result of some really meticulous, day-by-day tracking by some of the biggest names in financial news.
Okay, so take a look at this. You'll notice we've got two different figures here. The $265 billion we're talking about today, that comes from the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. But then you see Forbes, who had him a bit lower just a few days before. So why the difference? Well, it's because they track things in slightly different ways, and crucially, they update at different times. And that's especially true after a huge market-moving event.
And to put all of this into perspective, that $265 billion valuation makes Jeff Bezos the third wealthiest person on the entire planet. But, and this is a big but, that ranking can change, and it often does, literally every single day. And a very recent event shows just how fast that can happen. Okay, now we get to the really wild part of the story, because a fortune this huge isn't static. In fact, it can change so dramatically that it's almost hard to believe. We're talking about an unimaginable surge of wealth in a single day.
Get this, on October 31st, 2025, in one day, Jeff Bezos' fortune jumped by $18.6 billion. No, that is not a typo. That's the kind of jump that completely reshapes wealth rankings in just a matter of hours. Just insane.
So you've got to be asking, what on earth happens to make someone's net worth jump that much, that fast? It's not like you won the lottery or found buried treasure, right? The answer is all about the performance of one single company.
And as you might have guessed, it all comes back to one name. Amazon. The tech behemoth he founded is the massive engine that's driving almost all of this incredible fortune. So here's what happened. On that last day of October, Amazon dropped its third quarter earnings report, and it was a blockbuster. We're talking net sales over $180 billion, a 13% jump from the year before. But the part that really got investors fired up was the incredible growth in their AI and cloud computing divisions. And when investors get excited, the stock price, well, it soars.
And that is the crucial link. See, Bezos still owns about 8% of Amazon. So when the company's total value skyrockets, his personal net worth skyrockets right along with it. That insane $18.6 billion gain, it was a direct result of his shares becoming way more valuable right after that amazing report hit the news.
But wait, well, Amazon is obviously the main event. It's not the only thing in his portfolio. It's the biggest piece of the pie by far, but let's take a quick look at the other major components that make up his wealth.
This chart really paints a picture for you, doesn't it? That giant slice, yeah, that's his Amazon stock, making up the absolute lion's share. But you can see he's also diversified. He's got his space exploration company, Blue Origin, a huge portfolio of real estate, and of course his ownership of the Washington Post.
So if you're wondering how a mere 8% stake in a company can be worth so much, well, we need to talk about something called market capitalization, or market cap for short. It's basically the total value of all of a company's shares put together. And in Amazon's case, we're talking about a market cap of over $2.4 trillion. So his 8% slice of that absolutely colossal pie, that's what translates into hundreds of billions in personal wealth. Okay, so this brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important piece of this whole puzzle. This incredible number, this 265 billion figure, it's not set in stone, not even close. It is constantly moving.
And here it is, the big takeaway. A net worth of $265 billion doesn't mean there are $265 billion in cash sitting in a giant bank vault. It's a valuation. It's an on-paper number based almost entirely on the current, up-to-the-minute stock price of his assets, especially Amazon.
And because it's all tied to the stock market, it is incredibly volatile. I mean, think about it. Just like a great earnings report added over $18 billion in a single day, a disappointing report or a bad day for the market could wipe out billions just as fast. The number you see on any given day is really just a snapshot in time.
So that leaves us with this one kind of mind-bending question to think about. When a person's fortune can swing up or down by the size of a small country's GDP in a single day, what does it even mean to be worth $265 billion? It's not a fixed number. It's more like a real-time reflection of the market's confidence. And that, well, that's a pretty fascinating concept to wrap your head around.